On July 17, 1942, World War II had reached a critical stage. Hitler's German army had already conquered much of Western Europe, and now their focus turned to the east, the Soviet Union. One city stood as both a strategic target and a symbol: Stalingrad, named after the Soviet leader Joseph Stalin. Controlling this city would not only cut vital supply routes and secure resources, but also deal a symbolic blow to the Soviet Union. For Stalin, defending it was a matter of national pride, morale, and survival. Hitler's Operation Barbarossa, launched in June 1941, had initially advanced rapidly. German forces captured vast areas with overwhelming force. By mid-1942, their attention shifted to Stalingrad, an industrial hub on the Volga River. The city was key for transport, industry, and military logistics, producing weapons, tanks, and equipment essential for the Soviet war effort. Securing Stalingrad would also give Germany access to oil fields in the Caucasus, fueling their ongoing campaign. The stakes were immense on both sides. The battle began with relentless German bombing campaigns that destroyed entire neighborhoods. Streets turned into ruins, factories collapsed, and the city became a battlefield from one end to the other. Civilians were caught in the destruction, and thousands perished. Yet despite the devastation, Soviet forces turned the ruins into a defensive fortress. Every building, basement, and street corner became a place of resistance. Soldiers fought fiercely for each block, each building, and sometimes each floor, refusing to give ground. As the months passed, the harsh Russian winter added to the challenge. Temperatures dropped to dangerous lows, and German soldiers, unprepared for such conditions, faced frostbite, hunger, and illness. Supply lines were stretched beyond limits. Hitler ordered his troops to hold their positions at all costs, refusing retreat, believing that surrender would be unacceptable. This decision would prove disastrous. Despite their efforts, the German army could not break Soviet resistance or advance through the city. In November 1942, the Soviets launched a powerful counteroffensive called Operation Uranus. Instead of attacking the heavily defended city directly, they targeted the weaker flanks held by Axis allies. German forces found themselves surrounded in what became a massive encirclement. Trapped, cut off from supplies and reinforcements, the Sixth Army struggled to survive. Food and ammunition ran low, medical care was limited, and harsh winter conditions continued to take a toll. Soldiers endured unimaginable hardship, yet their leaders insisted on standing firm. By January 1943, the situation became unsustainable for the Germans. Thousands had died from combat, starvation, and cold. On February 2, 1943, the remaining forces surrendered. What had begun as a confident advance by Hitler ended as one of the most crushing defeats in military history. The German army, once seemingly unstoppable, had been shattered in a battle that lasted more than 7 months. The human cost was staggering. Nearly 2 million soldiers and civilians were killed, wounded, or captured. Stalingrad itself lay in ruins, with streets filled with rubble and mass graves marking the terrible loss of life. Yet despite the destruction, the Soviet victory marked a decisive turning point. It shattered the myth of German invincibility and gave hope to allied nations. From this point, the momentum of the war shifted, with the Soviets moving westward to reclaim lost territory and eventually approach Berlin. Stalingrad became a symbol of resilience, determination, and sacrifice. It demonstrated that even in the face of overwhelming odds, discipline, strategy, and courage could change the course of history. The city, now called Volgograd, still bears the scars of the conflict. Memorials and monuments honor those who fought and remind future generations of the cost of war and the power of human endurance. This battle remains one of the most significant and studied events of the Second World War. Its lessons extend beyond military tactics to human perseverance, leadership, and the importance of standing firm in the face of adversity. The bravery of soldiers and civilians alike continues to inspire, and the story of Stalingrad is remembered as a powerful example of resilience and determination in one of history's darkest hours.